Infinity Nikki has caught the attention of many people, myself included. It's no surprise that just 10 days after its release, the game had already reached 20 million downloads, according to Vandal's website. But if you still don't know what I'm talking about, or you've never heard of this game, Infinity Nikki is that game you've probably been recommended because it's like playing with Barbies in an open world. But before continuing with the video, I'd like to remind you that if you'd like me to keep making content like this, you can support me through my Ko-Fi with a small coffee or on my Patreon. Without taking up any more of your time, let's get on with the video. Picking up where we left off, one of the main mechanics, if not the main mechanic of this game, is the outfits we can equip Nikki with. She's easily one of the cutest and prettiest protagonists I've ever seen in a video game. For better understanding, and because that's how I interpreted it, the outfits are divided into two categories: special costumes that you unlock as you progress, and individual pieces of clothing that you can purchase or find in certain chests scattered throughout the open world. These are the outfits that, as I mentioned earlier, you unlock as you level up. They allow you to perform actions like gliding, purifying, grooming animals, shrinking Nikki, catching insects, and more. These abilities are essential for progressing through the game's story and collecting materials to craft even more outfits. These are the outfits you can use to dress up your little doll, Nikki, as you can see in the video playing in the background. Probably, if I don't forget to add it, these outfits are also used for style battles. Though, if I'm not mistaken, you can also use the special outfits without necessarily activating their abilities. And yes, you heard that right. Style duels. You can challenge certain NPCs to these duels, which will have specific themes like cute, sexy, etc. Oh, I think I skipped that part. Outfits have stats tied to these themes. The higher the stat, the more points you'll earn if it matches the duel's theme. Trust me, it's easier to understand once you see it in action. I'm just terrible at explaining things. At least in my experience, most of the time, the clothes I had with the necessary stats didn't really match. Obviously, since they were good and fit the theme, I managed to win, but the final look of the outfit was, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly pleasing to the eye. In this aspect, I won't lie to you. The game is quite similar, very similar, to Genshin Impact and The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. You can collect plants, insects, and whim stars throughout the world. Don't know what whim stars are. That makes sense since, once again, yours truly forgot to mention them earlier. Whim stars are used to unlock the blueprints for the special outfits I mentioned before. The ones that grant unique abilities. You'll also encounter animals outside the cities, different from the ones you find in urban areas. These animals can also be groomed, and they'll reward you with materials to craft new clothes. Similar to Breath of the Wild, you can find things akin to the game's shrines. Upon solving a puzzle in these, you'll be rewarded with a whim star. If there's one thing I'd complain about in the world of Infinity Nikki, and let me be clear, this is based on the hours I've spent playing, it's that the world feels relatively empty. While you might occasionally come across an animal or a small critter to face, it doesn't happen very often. But hey, that's just my perception. Taking advantage of the fact that we touched on the topic of combat. The combat in this game is quite simple, not to say basic. Essentially, there are only two ways to attack: pressing B or circle, depending on the console you're playing on, or jumping and then following up with a downward strike, which, if I'm not mistaken, is performed with the right trigger on your controller. Personally, I don't mind it too much since, to some extent, it's understandable. The game doesn't focus on this kind of combat, but instead emphasizes the customization of Nikki's outfits. Well, this game also features a gacha component for monetization. However, contrary to what you might expect for a game of this style, although, if you lack self-control, it can become addictive. I think it's one of the few games where this mechanic isn't strictly necessary. This means you can enjoy the game without spending a single penny. Speaking from my personal experience, I had the opportunity to receive quite a few of the stones or coins, the currency used for this feature, through in-game mail. With With those, I managed to unlock 2 outfits, if I'm not mistaken, both of which were very cute, and several standalone pieces that I absolutely loved. The style and design of this game speaks for itself. From the menus to the icons, it's clear they wanted to give it a cute, cozy, and lovely vibe. Which, if you ask me, they absolutely nailed. The character designs, including both the main characters and background NPCs, as well as the animals and insects, are also incredibly adorable. Although, to be honest, I don't have much to add in this department since I'm not an expert on these kinds of topics. Without a doubt, what I loved the most about Infinity Nikki was the ability to dress Nikki like a little doll and even do her makeup. Although, of course, the one thing I could complain about, as I mentioned before, is how empty the world feels outside the cities. But I don't think that's something too hard to fix with future updates. And honestly, even if they don't fix it, I don't think it would affect the game much. Yeah, I know, kind of a nitpicky complaint. Would I recommend it? There's no doubt that you should. If you're into a relaxing game where you can enjoy polished and well thought out mechanics, go ahead and give it a try. What do you think about this game? Are you as excited as I am? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.